All right. Tanesh 4, day 2, inscribed angles. All right, so yesterday we just dealt with angles. Today we're going to inscribe not just angles, but triangles and quadrilaterals, which are four-sided shapes. All right, because, all shapes have angles, so these are also just inside angles. They just happen to be closed and form a shape. So let's talk about this. Okay, so let's talk about our triangles first. It says, an inscribed angle of a triangle intercepts a diameter or semicircle if and only if the angle is a right angle. Okay, so if this is a right triangle, then this is a diameter. All right. Now, diameter or semicircle. All right, semicircle. Yep, sure is. All right, so what's the measure of every triangle on Earth? 180 degrees, right? So, so you can take the measure of angle G plus the measure of angle F plus the measure of angle H equals 180. Well, what if we know that the measure of angle G is 90 degrees? Well, then that means the measure of angle F plus the measure of angle H equals 90 degrees. All right? So there's our triangle. Now let's talk about our quadrilateral. The quadrilateral is inscribed in a circle, and then its opposite angles are supplementary. Opposite or diagonal. Diagonal. I am missing a letter there. I did not spell diagonal properly. And I am too yeah, that is so not spelled properly. All right. Supplementary. Supplementary equals 180 degrees. All right. So diagonal from M is K. Okay, so the measure of angle K plus the measure of angle M equals 180. Well, diagonal from L is N. So the measure of angle L plus the measure of angle N equals 180. So remember the diagonals. All right, diagonals. All right, let's talk about our triangles first. All right, talk about our triangles first. So it wants us to find the measure of K. All right, we're going to assume that this is a right triangle. And so if we assume this is a right triangle, all right, we can assume that the measure of angle K plus the measure of angle M equals 90 degrees, if this is 90 degrees. So we can add them together and equal 90 degrees, because those are complementary angles equal 90 degrees. Okay, so 5x minus 4 plus 8x minus 10 equals 90. We've got some like terms going on in here. So 13x minus 14 equals 90. Equals 90 plus 14 on both sides. 13x equals 104. Divide both sides by 13 and x equals 8. Well, did we find the measure of angle K yet? Nope, sure haven't. 5 times 8 minus 4. That equals 36 degrees. That's the measure of angle K. All right. We were feeling, I think about 85% with this skill when we first talked about it in class. A couple people had a few questions here or there, but for the most part, we were semi-solid with it. So remember, we're already accounting for 90 degrees of a triangle. So you have to set this equal, the other two angles equal to 90. Okay, that was one of the biggest things. So the measure of angle T plus the measure of angle V equals 90. So T is 7x minus 5 plus 2x minus 4 equals 90. And just some minor math was off for a couple people. So 9x minus 9 equals 90. Add 9 to both sides. 9x equals 99. X equals 11. Now the other thing some people found the measure of angle T instead of the measure of the angle V. Make sure you're finding the measure of the correct angle. It will make a difference. So we're trying to find the measure of angle V. So 2 times x minus 4. 22 minus 4 is 18. Okay. So, but once we did it and everyone made sure that they were finding V and not T, we finally all got on the same page and we were feeling pretty good about this skill. All right, let's flip it over and let's work on inscribing quadrilaterals for this, okay? So we have got stained glass. Luca is creating a collection of stained glass ornaments. The ornament shown uses a quadrilateral inside of the circle. Wants us to find F and G. All right, so we're gonna find F and then we're gonna find G. Okay. So the angles, don't forget, are supplementary, which means they equal 180. So we're going to find F first, and we're going to use the angle that is diagonal from it, which is D. So 3y plus 4, remember you add them together, plus 16 equals 180. We've got some like terms. 8y plus 20 equals 180. We subtract 20 from both sides, and you get 8y equals 160. Y equals 20. We found y, but it wanted the measure of angle F. So F is 3 times 20 plus 4, or that equals 64 degrees. Next up, we're going to find G, and G is diagonal to E. All right, so we'll add those together. Gx minus 4 plus E is 3x minus 16. They are supplementary. Combine our like terms. 4x minus 20 equals 180. 4x equals 200. X equals 50. Did we want X? No, we want the measure of angle G. So 50 minus 4 equals 46 degrees. All right. We were feeling pretty okay. I would say we were about 90% here with this one. The biggest thing was making sure we were diagonal. And you added the two angles together and set them equal to 180. Okay, a couple people wanted to set them equal to each other, and no, we aren't equal to each other. We're supplementary angles, so we're adding them together and setting them equal to 180. All right. So then we check skills with this really weird looking ring. It says jeweler, a designer is making a new line of jewelry with geometric patterns, and they're really ugly. The ring shown is quadrilateral gemstone inscribed in a circular piece of metal. All right, so we're going to find J, and we're going to find K. All right, let's find J first. All right, we have a circular outside ring. We are quadrilateral, so we need to use the angle diagonal from J, which is L. So 5x plus 2, they are supplementary, so we add them together. Set them equal to 180. Combine your like terms. 13x minus 15 equals 180. 13x equals 195. X equals 15. Were we looking for x now? We're looking for the measure of angle J. So 5 times 15 plus 2 equals 77 degrees. All right, next up, the measure of angle K. All right, again, we are quadrilateral, inscribed inside of a circle, so we use the angle diagonal to it. And we've got 12y plus 6 plus k, which is 11y plus 13. They are supplementary, so we set them equal to 180. Combine your like terms. 23y plus 19 equals 180. Subtract 19 from both sides, you end up with 23y equals 161. Divide both sides by 23, you end up with y equals 7, but we were not looking for y, we're looking for the measure of angle. Okay, so 11 times 7 plus 13 equals 90 degrees. All right, once we finished with this and talked, people found their major mistakes and we felt pretty good. And the vast majority of people were able to finish the assignment and have some spare time left over. So once we got going, we really were on a roll. All right, good luck.